Hello everybody, it's vanburman here. I'm just, well, also one of many things, but we'll also be looking at Football Manager 17, but I'm also trying out OBS as well. I don't know if you guys know, but I used XSplit for a long time, and my subscription ran out because, you pay £15 every 3 months, so £5 a month to have that. OBS is free, and I just thought, we'll try that. Obviously, it's open software, so you get more things, but not quite as tested. It's all more community based than XSplit, which is very much a corporate thing. So I've got Football Manager 17. I did a live stream as well, which will probably maybe I don't know if that'll be up on the channel or not, but I'm going to be doing that with Bournemouth, so we'll do a Bournemouth one of that. But we're going to really just talk about what you can see here and talk about Football Manager and the bit I've played and what I sort of liked and what I didn't like. So, for example, this is my avatar, my character here, which has been taken from a picture of myself, which is not particularly good. I wasn't like straight faced on. I was slightly to the left, I think. So that's why one of his eyes is a bit blown out. But it is imprinted from one of my pictures. As you know, those sort of things are generally not that great. But coming back from last season, we've also got the Create a Club mode and the Fantasy Draft, which I actually really like. So basically, I like the idea of, and I actually played it, where you'll play with other people and then you'll obviously, just like much like the American football thing, you get to pick. You get a first draft and they'll get a draft, etc. etc. So this is not going to be the first video that I will do. I do need to sort out these. I need to get the badges. But I've got the kits and I've got the player faces already in. So we'll be... you'll see the faces and the kits already done, but we'll have to do the badges at some point as well. So if you want to know where I got them from, where I got anything from in the actual videos, then just ask, because we'll do that. So I think I'm going to go with the same setup I went for my Bournemouth one, which is the Belgian, French, Dutch and Spanish leagues, but they're only on view only, so they're there as a sort of guide. I could have more because, quite frankly, my computer can handle it, but I'd rather just have a smaller one, to be fair. So while I am starting this up, and this is basically going to lead into the first episode, which will be the Arsenal Football Manager career episode, but I just want to give a bit of a brief talk about it. You're pretty much not going to see too much because it will be loading most of the time. But some of the good stuff is that, the first thing I want to mention is the 3D engine is massively improved since last year. It looks massively improved anyway. I didn't use it too much last year, so maybe I'm wrong about that, but it does seem a lot more fluid. It's still got a long way to go, though, so don't be, sort of confused. It's nothing like Pro Evo Manager or FIFA Manager, the same sort of way that used to go, and that was pretty good, I always felt, but obviously it lacked on a lot of other aspects. We're a lot more in depth now. We've got a lot of non-coaching roles as well within the clubs that you can hire and fire, etc. So you've got obviously we had the spokesperson before, but you've got analysts and that sort of stuff, sports scientists, the working for the club that you'll also need to you also need to hire and everything. As you can see, that there's my battered manager, but yeah, that's the one I'm going to go with. I quite like that. I don't know. The avatar creation is a lot better than previous as well. Obviously not the facial imprinting that I suppose you could say. Do I want to add any other? No, I don't. A lot of it will look very familiar. A lot of it will look different. So I'm going to call this one AFC. You've still got the cloud-based saving, which, by the way, is a godsend. Especially, if you want to, for example, I play quite a bit on my tablets as well. Tablet, not tablets. So you can use the cloud save between them. So if I want to carry on my Football Manager save at another date while I'm away, then you can do that as well. I don't want to go through I'm not going to open any of the mail, but I will just have a flick through, and you can see that I've got the pictures on here, which is pretty good. You can download them and all that jazz. Who the heck is Lucas? Oh, yeah, Perez, obviously. God, Perez is not brilliant. He looks okay though. So one of the things you'll notice is that the player valuations are really high, and that is a running theme. I think it sort of had to amalgamate how the football market is at the minute. Obviously, it's very inflated. Although, I think the inflation will stay. So actually, it's about right, I suppose you could say. I've done some transfers, sold some players, and it seems to work pretty much the same as before. With one key exception, when you are signing a player, if he's sort of high profile or he has some specific promises that he wants in order to join your club. So, for example, if I tried to sign Griezmann with Arsenal, he might say, I'll join, but I want to be the captain, and I always want to be played at centre forward, and I always want to be in a complete striker role, and I want you to sign a new midfielder. They can ask all these things before you even get the chance to enter any negotiation with them, which I really like, because it sort of sets the scene. It adds more backstory to the players and their relationship with you and the club. So that's quite nice. Obviously, with my Bournemouth one, I had quite a lot of that from a lot of different players. I wanted to sign Mexes, for example, on a free transfer, and he wanted to be the captain if he joined. And I was thinking, well, for a free transfer, that's a bit steep. But yeah, that's what he wanted. I didn't actually give him that. I said no. But I did agree to all the rest of his demands, and then he went and joined Stoke. So that was a bit sad, but there you go. In its own little way, there's a story of sorts. But apart from those things that I mentioned, it seems to be the same Football Manager experience, to be honest. Obviously, we are only in beta currently at the minute, so it's 16 or 15 days before the actual release. So there is still time for tweaks and changes to be made. I mean, there's some of the stuff that looks a bit rough around the edges. There's a stat screen when you're playing a football match that looks really out of place. I'm not sure if it feels like it's something I've downloaded accidentally, but I'm pretty sure it's part of the game that it just looks out of place. It doesn't look right. I do want to download some skins as well. I mean, I think that's the great thing about Football Manager. Like, all the stuff that was available, all the stuff that's compatible with the older Football Managers, for example, like the kits and the badges and the player faces and all that you can download are available now as well. See, look, there's the kits. There's the Emirates kits. And there's the player faces. I don't know who this guy, Reece Nelson. He looks really good. Never heard of him before. I'll have to integrate him into the team at some point. So yeah, if you do want to watch more of my ramblings and you want to see how I do with Arsenal and Bournemouth, then feel free to watch those videos, and they'll be coming out, and I will do a quote-unquote review as well, but that probably won't be until I'll wait until the full game's released anyway, and by that time I should have had enough time with the game to be able to ascertain what's good and what's not so good about it. But anyway, there you have it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, if you've got any suggestions or anything that you would like to add for either this or my Bournemouth one, the Bournemouth will be strictly limited to live streaming, and it's not going very well. And this one will be recorded and then edited down so that it runs a bit smoother, so you haven't got to sit through all of the continues and next day stuff and all that jazz. It will be more like, here's a player I want to sign. Did I sign him? Yes, I did. This is what I had to do to sign him, etc. And then the highlights of each match as well will go on after the fact as well. So I think that's probably a better way to do it. It's a bit more editing, but it's not normally too bad. It's normally just film the parts as they come, stick them all together, and release them like that. Anyway, you guys are probably not very interested about that, but I'm interested to see how this broadcast comes out. So there you go. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I'll see you all very soon. And now I'm going to click stop recording. Goodbye.